Wrestling is weird. One of the best examples in modern day wrestling is Curt Hawkins. Once soaring under the wings of Hall of Famer Edge and being part of La Familia, he fell more and more into oblivion, achieving a sheer impossible feat, losing more than 200 times in a row. But is it possible to take Curt Hawkins and turn him into a real main event star? My name is Isaac Blizzard and you are watching Rebrand, a series that lets us take a step back and evaluate the many possibilities of sports entertainment in taking underutilized talent and creating the stars of tomorrow. The first episode is about Curt Hawkins. Let's go. Let's kick off with the blueprint. First, we have to end his losing streak to build him up as a serious competitor at Raw or SmackDown. Then we also have to rebrand him and develop a new character. Therefore, the concept, and then I'll book him from WrestleMania 34 to WrestleMania 35, and in the end we'll see whether it's heaven or hell for Hawkins. By WrestleMania 34, Hawkins will accumulate 196 losses in a row, losing at the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 34. The next night on Raw, he will come into the ring and cut a promo about that he was never pinned, therefore he has not lost at WrestleMania. His promo will be cut and interrupted by one of the following superstars: Apollo Crews, Fandango, Goldust, or Titus O'Neil. Those are wrestlers that were not in a feud by the time and were also in the same limbo Hawkins was in. In this case, Goldust will enter the ring, and even before the match could officially start, Hawkins ambushes Goldust, resulting in a bigger heel turn, and it will end in a no contest, which means it's neither a win nor a loss, which technically means that his streak is broken. A week after Raw, he will debut a new character with new music and a new entrance, and he will just be simply called Hawkins, with dyed black hair, black and red attire, in this case thighs, and instead of the stick he's carrying around, he will have a cane with a hawk head on it. His moveset will change drastically. He will have a more stiffer, harder and faster moveset, similar to the New Japan movesets and the strong style. His new signature move will be a soaring elbow, which is an elbow drop from the top rope, and his new finisher will be called Division of Hell, which is a running clothesline or lariat, similar to the clothesline from Hell that JBL made famous. And I've done some research, and in Indian culture, the hawk is the messenger of the spirit world and has the power to have clear visions. And Hawkins' new vision is that he will stay undefeated, which makes me get to the point of the concept, and it is important to build him up from WrestleMania 34 to WrestleMania 35. He will start a Lower-Midcard feud against Goldust. Then he will have a major feud with a fan favorite, or let's call it a babyface. Then he keeps on working up the card with title opportunities against Seth Rollins. And it's important to note that in this series that I will not change the entire card or all the feuds just to make one feud working. I'll try to incorporate this feud in the existing timeline, which means that the feud he will have with Seth Rollins for the title will also incorporate into the Seth Rollins vs Dean Ambrose feud. And if he gets to win the title from Seth Rollins, it's important that he keeps this title strong up until WrestleMania 35. Keeping it strong will result in having an undefeated streak, but as more time has passed, he will get more desperate, he will use more heelish tactics, and he will win less clean, but the final matchups in feuds will always be won clean. And the goal is to build him as a strong heel. Let's book Hawkins from Mania to Mania in 1 year. Kicking off at Backlash, he will have a pre-show matchup against Goldust, which he will win. At Money in the Bank, a month later, he will have yet another match against Goldust in the pre-show, which he will win decisively, thus ending the feud there. This was his first lower card feud, which was featured at a pay-per-view, even though it's in the pre-show. At Extreme Rules, he will face Matt Hardy in a kendo stick match, which is a gimmick match that I personally like a lot because it could mean that Hawkins could use his cane as a weapon and getting a victory over Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy can get Hawkins over because for once he's a seasoned veteran, and at that time of the year Matt Hardy wanted to go and take a break from wrestling, so he can put him over here, and at SummerSlam they can have the rematch, which Hawkins wins as well, thus ending the feud. And at SummerSlam there will be an announcement that at Hell in a Cell there will be #1 contender matches held for all the different titles. At Hell in a Cell he will win his #1 contender match for the Intercontinental Championship against Elias due to interference from Lashley, turning Elias' face sooner and cutting the Lashley and Sami Zayn feud shorter. At the Super Showdown in Australia, Hawkins will face Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship, but it will end in a no contest due to interference from a strange unknown character. The strange unknown character is Dean Ambrose, and it was rumored that he was to turn heel earlier, so I just take the information and turn him heel earlier to still have the feud going between him and Seth Rollins, which will blow up at Crown Jewel at the rematch against Seth Rollins for the IC title, and there will be an official interference from Dean Ambrose, which will crown Hawkins the new Intercontinental Champion. At Survivor Series 2018, Raw swiped SmackDown clean, if you exclude the pre-show, and we will have the heel versus heel match in Nakamura, the United States Champion, against Hawkins, the Intercontinental Champion. And to keep the story going and not changing the plot of 2018 and Survivor Series, Hawkins has to get a win here over Nakamura. At TLC, we will have a triple threat match featuring Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins versus Hawkins, and Hawkins will retain the title via roll-up, so the Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins feud can go in a different direction, and Hawkins is still strong with the title. At the Royal Rumble, Hawkins will come out, cut a promo and issue an open challenge against anyone in the locker room, and out comes Zack Ryder. And in this case, Hawkins should really squash Ryder in a match that should not last longer than 2 minutes, just to solidify and show that he's the better one from the tag team they used to have, and that he's now the man, he's the Intercontinental Champion. At Elimination Chamber, there will be an Intercontinental Championship Elimination Chamber match, which will feature Hawkins, Elias, Lashley, Dolph Ziggler, Big Show, and last but not least, John Cena. And Hawkins will retain. You might ask yourself, why is John Cena put in this match? It is not made to put this match over and to add John Cena into this match to have more star power. The story behind this is that John Cena has never been Intercontinental Champion in his life, and he qualified at Raw to be in this championship match. And the match should go as following: that all 5 competitors are in the ring without elimination, and then lastly John Cena enters and just gets kicked out of the match, thus just basically burying him, but giving the fans what they want. Then at Fastlane we will have the match between Hawkins and John Cena, because John Cena wants his WrestleMania moment. He wants to be Intercontinental Champion by WrestleMania, and Hawkins loses the match by disqualification because of the desperation and the panic he developed over his winning streak. But you can book this either way. Hawkins could also lose this matchup, which could ultimately help him at WrestleMania 35. Because at WrestleMania 35 there will be the rematch between Hawkins and John Cena for the Intercontinental Championship, and Hawkins should win clean and retain or regain the Intercontinental Championship. Why? Because in conclusion, he had no clean loss and we built him up as a strong heel, and there's the possibility of a double turn at WrestleMania 35 because WrestleMania is held at New York, where Hawkins is born and built from, and if he picks up a win against John Cena at WrestleMania, this could be a chance to naturally turn him face. He can also afford to lose after capturing the title or retaining it at WrestleMania 35, and he can give a rub to NXT call-up or a rookie. After that, sky's the limit. He can become one half of the tag team champions, he can go to SmackDown and become the United States champion, he can also even win Money in the Bank. So ladies and gentlemen, did we save Curt Hawkins? Comment down below if you think we did so or we did not. Also comment down below who wrestler I should save next. I was Isaac Blizzard from World Alliance Wrestling. You can follow me on Twitter at SquadWAW, and thanks for watching.